Hello everyone. Weird pace of change. I can't speak English today. What I meant to say was, you're probably wondering what happened to the Dave and Bambi content? What happened to the Friday Night Funkin' content? Well, I've kind of gotten bored of it, honestly. There's no real motivation for me to make more Dave and Bambi content as much as last year maybe, or just like a couple of months back, because frankly the content for Dave and Bambi and Friday Night Funkin' as a whole has just been very dry. I don't know if you've noticed, but certain mods there's not much like height to it anymore, you know what I mean? And just over time the mod has slowly just like lost, for me it just like lost interest, because Volume 1 came out and all it offered were simple re-sprites and one new song, and that's about it. We like waited over a year, I think it was either over a year or over like 2 years, but we waited a long time just for them to pump out like one to two new songs and just a re-sprite. And to me, I feel like that's not enough, considering the fact that 2 years ago, or like a year ago prior, it took them the same length or even longer, and they pumped out like a ton of stuff. But that's not what the video is about. The video is about Sixer and how he is not a fraud. Some people think that he is the worst killer in the game, and you'd probably be right. I say probably be right if you knew how to use him. I'm gonna say this now. You're just talking if you really think that he's the worst killer in the game. It might seem crazy what I'm about to say, but I think that Sixer is more overpowered than he is underpowered. He's not underpowered. No. Y'all are just using him wrong, bro. If you don't know how he generally works, some people don't, but I'm gonna explain it because, well, this is 2025. Not many people really know Forsaken outside of the fandom. To cut to the chase, Sixer is the 6th killer added to the game. How ironic. Yeah, he's the 6th killer added to the game, and I feel like Sixer is the most unique when it comes to his abilities. He has 3 moves, one of which I think counts as a 4th move, but we won't talk about that until later. But he has 3 moves: Infernal Cry, his Leap, and Blood Hunt, which it's either Blood Rush, which can turn into Blood Hunt. Now, I'm gonna cut to the chase really quickly. Leap is basically Walk Speed Override and Void Rush, but just more distance, and it's overall better than Walk Speed Override, but we don't talk about that. You can charge it, and it's also a vertical leap, so you can turn it into a pouncy, meaty, claws type of guy, you know what I'm saying? What am I doing? There's also Infernal Cry, which when using it and it lands on a survivor, it gives them blindness, and doesn't deal any damage, but it also gives you speed, and that's really good because Sixer is all about speed and rush down, which is why Slasher works so well. And finally, there's Blood Rush. It's just an order reveal. It doesn't have any significant reveal or anything. Totally. Anyways, his M1 is the most interesting M1 in the game because it actually has a second M1, and we call that Eviscerate. Now, Eviscerate used to be the most bullshit free distance type move in the game. When I say that, I mean when he released, literally day 1, you could use Eviscerate and literally close the distance without having to waste more stamina than survivors. And to see how batshit that was, I really wish I recorded it on release, but most of, if not all of my games on day one were free wins because I could just spam Eviscerate and there was no consequences for just spamming the shit out of Eviscerate. And mind you, that's just one move. Infernal Cry was so much worse. It hit the fucking hitbox. It used to be more bigger than Sixer himself. It was insane. It was almost a freebie, and you almost couldn't miss with it. And if you missed with it, skill issue, man. I don't know. You have like terrible vision if that's the case. No, but they did nerf Eviscerate, but the nerf isn't enough because if it lands, the slowness that you get from missing it is just not there. It only applies if you miss it. If it lands, there's no slowness, and you just get the cover distance for free. Man, this guy is really balanced, eh? He's really balanced. Now let's talk about the leap. The leap is also very interesting because tapping it once, like this, just a simple tap, allows you to go far, sure, but only deal 26 damage. Charging it halfway deals 30 damage, and then charging it to full gives you the largest distance coverage in the game, and also deals 45 damage. I'm sorry, what the what? Yeah, it's just a very good or better than walk speed override for some reason, and it does 40 damage. That's if you hold it. If you just tap it, it only deals 26 damage, and the distance you cover isn't that far, but it's still pretty good distance. Anyways, Infernal Cry, I've already talked about that, and the final thing is Blood Rush. Now, like I said before, Blood Rush doesn't have anything special attached to it. It's just a simple. Are you sure about that? It's just a simple aura reading ability. And I'm gonna preference this right now. This entire video doesn't have a script. I'm just rambling and just telling you guys that Sixer is just way better. He's way better than you guys think that he is. Y'all are actually underestimated the guy. But anyways, now that we are done with his moves, I put that in the biggest quotation marks ever. Let's talk about his two main passives. Yes, this motherfucker has two passives, both being useful. Unlike a certain killer's two passives. I'm looking at you, Purple Man. Anyways, Manic Fixation is Sixer's strongest passive and is arguably almost the best passive in the game. I am reaching that far. I am reaching that far. And I'm saying it like that. What do you mean by that? It's the best passive in the game because using Blood Rush or landing Infernal Cry, you automatically get speed, but Infernal Cry and Blood Rush work differently. Blood Rush, when using it out in the open, grants you a 20% speed boost when not in chase, and 10% when you are initiated in a chase. Infernal Cry automatically gives you the speed just instantly. It's not the 20%, but it's like the 20%. So if you have Blood Rush activated and you land an Infernal Cry, well, good job. It's not like you lost the 20%, you still kept the 20%. It's batshit insane, but that's how it works, I guess. Yeah, Manic Fixation is very powerful. The main gimmick for Sixer is just to rush down, but you also want to keep Blood Rush activated or his Manic Fixation passive active at all times. Because Manic Fixation is his biggest strength due to how massive his hitbox is. He's a bigger fatty than Shedletsky. God damn, and Shedletsky eats chicken. Shedletsky eats chicken for a living, and then this guy comes in, beats him in size, and can't go around corners very well. That still triggers me, by the way. I'm very upset that that's a thing for Sixer, but I digress. Like I said before, his strongest passive and his strongest strong is speed, and you want to keep that speed up at all times. You just want to you just want to have that up at all times. You don't want to lose it, because if you lose it, oh my god, chases are terrible. Not as terrible, but chases are more annoying without the speed, because like I said before, Sixer is a fat fuck, and you need speed to catch up with people. Not even having good pathing works, almost, because he's just a fat fuck, and he takes much more space turning around in general than other survivors. His second passive, which is, you know, remember when I said that manic fixation is the strongest passive in the game? Remember how I said that manic fixation was the strongest passive in the game? Scratch that. Hemorrhage is the strongest passive in the game. You wanna know why? Well, let me tell you how it works first. Manic fixation, hemorrhage basically is a fuck your health, you're not getting it back for a minute or two type passive, where if it lands, if you have it, get ready to be out of commission for 2 minutes, because you're not gonna be helping, because you're scared of losing your health. The only way to apply hemorrhage is by landing eviscerate on a survivor or landing leap, and this goes for any variation of it. The tap, the semi-hold, and the straight up hold. Any way works. Every time you land leap, it will apply hemorrhage. So no matter the distance or whatever, it will land. Can't say the same for eviscerate, because it's a fucking M1 dunce. It's very, very strong, hemorrhage. It's a very strong passive because it allows Sixer to freely focus on one survivor for as long as he wants. He's like Jason. If he wants a survivor dead, they're gonna die, alright? And you wanna know why that's the case? Because hemorrhage is useful because Sixer has piercing, and piercing is very dangerous. We've already seen the plays that you can do with Slasher. You give that Sixer, oh my god, he is a unkillable machine. You see, Forsaken players tend to try to body block or stay beside the hurt survivor in order to cheese a stun onto you. Now, if that ever happens, you wanna know the biggest counter to that? Give them a hemorrhage. Since Sixer's M1 pierces, you can just apply hemorrhage to both the hurt survivor and the person trying to protect said survivor, and what that'll do is scare off the person that's trying to protect said survivor, and they'll be out of commission looking for someone to heal them. I know, Couch. Crazy. It's batshit insane that a simple passive can just decapitate you like that. Not decapitate you, or just whatever the fuck word is. It's insane. It's genuinely insane. I've done this. You can do this in a competitive server, by the way, and you can just farm blood very easily. This is one playstyle, and it combines both the blood farming playstyle and the rushdown playstyle. Oh my god, it is the most useful and best playstyle for Sixer, I guarantee. Because if you're chasing someone and someone tries to intervene, you can just get the fuck out of here. You're not helping. The fuck you. You can just say that, and then they have hemorrhage, and they run the risk of losing their health because you just applied a move that just disables their health. Wow, crazy. And even if they use a medkit, they can heal the HP back, and even if they want to heal that HP back, they'll have to wait like 2 minutes in order for the hemorrhage effect to be removed. So the only real way to actually remove it is by asking another survivor for help, which is also bad, considering the fact it's also bad for the survivors, but good for the killer, because that also means that more fucking survivors are out of commission and they can't help the person that's being chased by Sixer, so it's just a freebie kill at the end of the day. That's Sixer's general biggest strength, by the way. It's having multiple people trying to help and him just being able to disrupt and just get free blood. That's his biggest strength. Your priority is just to spam blood hunt. Just spam the ever-living blood out of it. It's just like that's what you should do, basically. You get the opportunity to use blood hunt, just activate. But yeah, that playstyle just turns him into a fucking monster, dude. That's a very specific playstyle that no one uses. I'm telling you, no one uses that playstyle. They just go aggressive and that's it. And it's a good playstyle, but it isn't a guaranteed win. Like, okay, the playstyle I just said isn't also a guaranteed win, but at the same time, it gives you a much better chance at winning than just playing aggressively. Farm blood. Matter of fact, if you see a sentinel, right? If you find a sentinel and you haven't found your priority target yet, apply hemorrhage to them and then go find your priority target. Boom, it's free blood and they're out of commission for a few minutes. They can't do jack shit. Well, what do you want them to do? Have another survivor heal their hemorrhage? Okay, go do that. Now 2 survivors are out of commission for a few seconds. That's like his biggest strength, bro. If no one's helping, easy. And it's not like Jason, where Jason doesn't have a good passive where it puts others out of commission, where he can just focus on one survivor easily. Nah, Sixer just has a 2-minute passive that just doesn't it's like a fuck you to the survivors. You're not helping your teammate. Fuck you. You help him again, I'm you, bro. Yeah, that's one problem taken care of, at least for me, because Sixer, y'all have been using him completely wrong. You should use this playstyle. I'll probably record a video of me playing Sixer, and you'll see what I mean when I say that Sixer is very underpowered. Not even I almost said underpowered. You'll see what I mean when I said that Sixer is not underpowered. It is actually very stupidly overpowered still. Like, even after the nerfs, he's still overly overpowered, and that's good because it compensates for his next issue, looping. Oh my god, looping is a very big issue in the game, and it's a very justifiable issue. And when I say that, I don't mean, oh, this is a very good issue. It's a very valid issue. No, I mean in the sense that it's a very good thing to have in the game, because, well, you're not going to be winning all that much if you're just juking the shit out of the killer, are you? Sixer has the biggest problem with this, and what I mean by that is, like I said before, he's fatter than Shedletsky, meaning he has to take wider turns, even if you hug the corners or just the wall, basically, when pathing. You really can't do much. And that's what people think. Until the information I'm about to give you. There's obviously the obvious choice. Infernal Cry, Blood Rush, and Leap. Leap can be very useful against one-way loops that don't have many corners, or just don't have many open areas where the survivor can just easily run the other way and just ignore your leap. But there's also other very easy ways to counter looping. One of the very easiest and stupidest ways to counter looping is just mind games. It's so stupid that it's so stupid that nobody's thought of this yet. It's so stupid. One of my good friends hasn't used Sixer, is level 1 on the guy, and has beaten me constantly. You wanna know why? Because he's mind gaming me, bro. What I mean by this is, he goes one way, which makes me, well, run, but then he goes the other way, and boom, he closed the distance instantly. And this only works on medium-sized loops, or just small loops in general. But yeah, There are multitude, and I mean a multitude of different ways to counter looping, and that's just one of them I just showed you. It's just mind games. It's really not that hard. I have literally countered so many loops with this simple cheap trick. It's so cheap and it's so simple, yet it's the most effective one for some reason. Another thing you can do, and it only works on loops that don't have a roof over their heads, is jumping over said loop. It's simple. It's really effective too. One misconception, however, that I've seen is, or just one wrong way to use the leap, or just to use the tactic, is people looking straight up, or Sixer users looking straight up like they've seen a fly and trying to catch that fly. Nah, bro, that's not how you should use it. There are certain ways you can use the leap, but the most effective one is just like looking slightly up but directly at the wall. So and the reason it works is that most of the momentum that you've built up will just be going straight to the wall, inside of the wall, and by the time you've already gone above it, the momentum is already done with. Like, the momentum is just not there anymore, meaning you can just sit on the loop, on top of the loop, and just bam, I guess. Yeah, it's really fucking easy. And even if they do for some reason go back to the loop, you have Inferno, Cry, Blood Rush. I generally recommend, as soon as you get on top of the loop, Blood Rush immediately. Get that speed boost just immediately. Even though it'll somewhat waste time, I feel like the speed boost is generally worth it. Just immediately pop Blood Rush, because think about it, you're safe. No one can stun you. No one is 1x and can just magically verbally abuse their fucking projectile and just aim it up. No, not even Chance's gun, which is supposed to be vertical in shooting as well, can even hurt you. Yeah. Hold on, I know the wrong. God damn it. Anyways, I'll probably showcase Sixer better in a future gameplay video, but for right now, I'm for some reason yawning. I'm sorry for the terrible mic quality in general. This is the only good microphone that I have, and it's connected to the headset, and I can't really afford a good microphone. Well, unless you guys subscribe to the goddamn channel. Please subscribe. I really want to make money off of this channel so that I can just buy better equipment. Subscribe, like, and share the video. Share the video in the Forsaken Discord server, because I want to see the amount of rage baiting that I unironically did, or just gave to some people. I'm not rage baiting, by the way. I generally do think that Sixer is not underpowered, and y'all are just using him wrong. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you made it to the end of the video. And I'll try, like I said, I'll try to be more open to making more videos about other games and not just Friday Night Funkin'. But yeah, like I said before, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if it was worth a subscribe, then I appreciate it. Alright, have fun, guys.